So, I just put out a video about CTF that dove into how I capped the flag successfully. I made it a point to say that you cannot worry about KD in this role in CTF, this particular one. All that will do is make you hesitant, and hesitation in the flag run and roll will more than likely lead to 0 flags capped and a ton of deaths. Today I'm going to switch it up and talk about the polar opposite, a little game mode called Pilot Hunter, where KD is everything. I know a lot of you aren't necessarily the biggest fans of Pilot Hunter, as it tends to encourage, it can't be your style of play. I myself have noticed a shift in tactical abilities and weapons when entering this game mode and know that it can turn into an active radar, carbine suppressor stakeout. But the real question you should be asking yourself is, how do I use this to my advantage? Well, there's 2 ways to approach the situation. Either you can join them. I mean, nothing against you. The carbine suppressor active radar pulse combo is a pretty one. It's pretty hard to overcome in the right hands. No doubts about it. It's an awesome loadout. Or you can overwhelm them, and that's what I'm here to talk about. Now again, as in with all these videos, I'm not saying that this is the only way to be a dominant force in this game mode. This is just what has worked for me. Now if you've been watching my videos, I'm sure you've noticed a trend in the weapons department. R97, shotgun, car SMG, I like to play in your face. I typically use one of the further reaching close range weapons on this map, airbase. Like the car SMG, because of its many open areas and map size, but I decided to use the shotgun to make a point that with the right play style you can make anything work. Now, some of these tips may be obvious to the seasoned vet, but hopefully you can pull some information out of this that can translate to your gameplay. Quick side note: if somebody drops a Titan at the beginning of the game of Pilot Hunter, don't ignore it. Take it out. This particular fellow in the video did the Titan map hack trick 4 games in a row and racked up some easy kills quick. Those kills may cause you an issue towards the end of the game, and luckily, we were still able to clinch the win. Also remember that Titan dashing no longer shows up on the minimap, so situational awareness is more important than ever. Use your ears to help you plan your next moves. So, let's go down the checklist. Number 1, never stop moving. In a game where mobility is king, I often see people in this game mode inhabiting a 10-foot radius like it's a safe zone or something. That's exactly what those active radar pulse pilots want. Remember, there's a lag associated with this ability, so if you're constantly wall running and moving unpredictably, it'll be much harder to track and kill you. Remember, if you can get there, so can they. Regardless of the weapon you're using, you need to keep moving or at least relocate after a kill. I've gotten so many quick revenge kills on people who forget this basic FPS rule. Next thing, use your architecture based on your weapon. Do you have a carbine, DMR, Kraber? Then the high ground is where you'll flourish. Car SMG, R97, shotgun, wall running through the mid-levels will cause nightmares for your opponents. Now let me explain. I'm not saying that you never want to take the high ground with the shotgun. Obviously, it's a great way to scan your environment. What I'm saying is you should not be sitting up there. Even with a carbine or a Kraber, you should not be sitting on the top of a roof. What I'm saying is in the mid with the shotgun, the mini-map is your best friend. So if I see somebody right below me, that's really quick, easy access to that pilot. And if they're right above me or on a different building, I can wall run in between in the mid and catch them off guard. All it takes is one shot. You just pop up, shoot, go back down, and keep moving. Piggybacking off of that point, situational awareness is key in this mode. If you're not checking your mini-map, you're doing it wrong. Every time you shoot just one bullet, remember that you have 5 other bloodthirsty pilots to worry about. Are you in a building? What are the entry points? Do you have only 3 bullets left in the clip and you need to reload? Can you hear them on the roof? These are things that you need to be asking yourself. Every time you get a kill, you should be thinking that 5 other pilots are on their way, and you should prepare yourself accordingly. I catch too many pilots with their pants down, not thinking, kind of almost giving a celebration after you kill somebody, and it's like, well, there's a bunch of other people to kind of worry about, so like I said, prepare yourself accordingly. Next is your pilot loadout. Now, it doesn't really matter which gun you use, because you can pretty much make anything work on any map, like I'm trying to show in this video. But there are some suggestions that can help you conquer the battlefield. I recommend, personally, Stim as a tactical ability, Arc Grenade as an ordnance, and Power Cell or Stealth Kit. Stim, because you should be moving around the map as quickly as possible, at least with my method. And health regeneration allows you to take on incomers once they see that red dot on the mini-map. Arc Grenade, because they serve as a multi-purpose ordnance, damaging and disorienting not only pilots but Titans as well. Every split second counts in this mode. And finally, the Power Cell or Stealth Kit. Power Cell will allow you to get that stim up as soon as possible, and the Stealth Kit will not only allow you to traverse the map silently and not draw Sound Horror's attention, but rodeo Titans without their knowledge and hopefully put it down. Now, next, and possibly the most important piece of this pie, and kind of lastly, this will be the last point that I really hit, is the Titan loadout. Now, this is something I have put a lot of thought into. I tested this extensively, and over hundreds of hours of gameplay, I have finally come to this loadout. Like most of us, I started using the Strider chain gun combo as my pilot go-getter. I mean, what's not to like? You know, you can snipe your enemies across the map and keep your distance from the various anti-Titan weapons. The problem with this was, most proficient enemy Titans laugh at the chain gun, and while I could still down them, they would typically take a large chunk of my health in the process. So I began using different combinations. Arc Cannon Capacitor with Cluster Missile, Chain Gun with Slave Warheads, Chain Gun with Vortex and Multi-Missiles, all the while thinking what would keep me competitive with Titans but allow me to grab quick pilot kills. Then I found this. So let's break this down. First, there's the Arc Cannon without Capacitor. I used to use the Capacitor exclusively, but I found that it's much better in a Titan killing role. Not to say that it can't be efficient at taking down pilots, as I typically would traverse the map with an 80% charge. It just allows for more room for error when pilots are concerned, and it's much easier to deal with multiple pilots at a time. That being said, I still don't lose any of the benefits of the Arc Cannon during Titan battles, and whatever faults it does have, the multi-missile more than makes up for. I use the multi-missiles to keep damage on enemy Titans while my Arc Cannon is buffering. And typically, when Titans see Arc Cannons charging, they become more aggressive, thinking they can use that time in between to get free licks. The multi-missiles keep them honest and allow me to keep shields down while I charge up. Now I know many of you are thinking the cluster missiles will be better in Pilot Hunter, but remember, I need something that can keep Titans in check while I rack up pilot kills. And to be honest, it's the multi-missiles that make this class. I mean, let's compare other ordinances. With the rocket salvo, there's a high probability of a miss. And I typically use a Strider with this build, and I would recommend that as well. So with the Strider, I don't want to get close enough to ensure connects. With multi-missiles, I can pretty much hit at any distance. Slave Warheads can be easily countered with a Particle Wall or Vortex Shield, because they're all fired at one time. Multi-missiles can be fired individually, you see that a lot during my video, and adjustments can be made in order to easily counter enemy defenses. Cluster missiles are an excellent pilot hunter and a Titan destroyer, but it can be easily avoided by a skilled opponent. Multi-missiles cannot be fired at pilots, but can be used at any range and almost guarantee hits with opportunistic gameplay. But what about rodeos? Well, that's what smoke is for. But an even better application for this is keeping enemy Titans from chasing you through a choke point. While the Vortex Shield and Particle Wall are great for avoiding enemy damage, there is nothing to keep your enemy from advancing from you while all your resources are temporarily depleted. If I get in a situation where I bite off more than I can chew, I can pop smoke through a tight corridor and make my retreat. If they decide to follow me through, I can big punch them back in it for major damage. Now speaking of big punch, I use this mostly for mobility throughout the map and what turns out to be essentially unlimited dashes. You'll see me big punching a ton in this video to cancel my Arc Cannon shot, as I don't want to give away my position. Now, what's great is as a Strider, your dashes don't show up in the minimap. I mentioned this earlier, but again, anytime you fire a weapon, it shows you, and I'm not ready to kind of give up my position yet. And then lastly, the dash quick charger is pretty self-explanatory, as I use this to help keep me mobile and out of danger. I've also been toying around with the quick health regeneration, as this has helped to keep me on the battlefield a little bit longer. So there's my video, fellas. I know it's a little bit of a long commentary this time, but kind of wanted to get in depth with it. And so if you guys have any questions, put them in the comments. Any questions about my loadout or strategy in Pilot Hunter, I'd be happy to ask them. Thank you again for watching. I think the next video I'm going to do is Hardpoint, and we're going to go over that in depth. I'm getting some footage right now, so it'll all be good. Yeah, again, thanks for watching. subscribe and like if you liked the video, and as always, have a good day.
Hey, your Titan will be ready in 60 seconds. Be advised, Titan ready in 30 seconds. Titan ready in 15 seconds. Get away from that Titan! Okay, your Titan's prepped for launch. Call it when ready.
Rock and rolling.
You got it. Stand by for Titan fall.
Control transferring to pilot.
You're on top. Mission's almost over. The IMC are far behind, so keep at it. We're doing even better than before. Good work, team. Keep up the pressure.
Warning. Recommend regen. Warning. I'm detecting a hostile pilot on board. I suggest pulling him off presently.
You're unstoppable. All right, we got what we came for. Awesome work, team. Mission accomplished.
Beat the IMC. The battle's not over. Intercept any stragglers before they get away. The enemy dropship has arrived. Destroy it before they get away.